Dolphins Steelers last night. You know, you have two teams who are very, very mediocre. You have one in the Steelers who are pretty much in the playoff mix just because of how abysmal the AFC North is. And then you have another team in the Dolphins who were kind of hot these last couple of weeks. But, you know, it's the Dolphins. They're in the cold weather. You're going to Pittsburgh. Tua Tagovailoa is your quarterback. You know, you're not expecting much success when you think about the Dolphins. So my main takeaway from their game last night, from the Steelers' point of view, they look good against the Dolphins. Sure, why not? But they still are boring on offense, and they look like a poorly constructed roster. Again, look old on defense. Yes, they had success against Tua Tagovailoa, but they look old defensively. Offensively, they have no verticality to their offense. Outside of the 2 touchdown passes, 1 to Aaron Rodgers' man, MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and then the big play that DK Metcalf made, which it's kind of nice to see DK Metcalf finally catching a pass. You know, he's been out here just running slants and all this good. Nice to finally give DK Metcalf the ball 15 yards down the field. Thank you, Arthur Smith. Saw that and he shoved Minkah Fitzpatrick over to the side. Great stuff. So outside of those 2 passes, we have not been able to see much efficiency, verticality to the offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I got to give kudos and credit to where credit is due. They ran the ball yesterday well with Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. That duo seems to be pretty productive over the last couple of weeks, and they were very productive last night. Aaron Rodgers, got to give him some credit as well. He is still flinging the football very well. Like, throws a nice spiral. He's on time. And it really makes me think when I watched Rodgers last night, if he played for a team like the Vikings, I think the Vikings could be in the playoff push. But he has the Pittsburgh Steelers playing well. I saw a stat earlier this morning. The Pittsburgh Steelers are top 3 in red zone efficiency. We got to give credit where credit is due. Aaron Rodgers, at his current age, being able to have the Steelers in the position that he has them, got to give him credit. They're 8-6. They are currently in the mix for their playoff push. And that has to do with the play of Aaron Rodgers and the offense. And they played physical on both sides of the ball. The offensive line was physical in the run game. But whoever ultimately comes out of the AFC North feels like they're going to be one and done. Because both the Steelers and the Ravens, both of these teams, have major flaws that you would be surprised if either one of these teams win one playoff game. And if they do, and they get to the second round, they're going to get boat raced by whoever they play. Again, the Steelers have no verticality. Even last night, you're watching them. All these dinking dunk throws, the swing passes to the running back, the play action dump downs to the tight ends. Again, outside the couple of throws that he threw touchdown passes for, just no sort of verticality to the offense. And when you go to the playoffs, you're playing good on good. So you're going to play pretty elite defenses. That's not going to fly. You think the Steelers' offense is going to be able to be that efficient against a defense such as the Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jaguars? It's not going to happen. And when we revert to the Ravens, they just haven't played well. Lamar's not playing good. This game they just had on Sunday was an anomaly just because of how atrocious Joe Burrow and the Bengals are, which we are about to talk about them next. But we're not trusting Lamar and the Ravens to play well enough to win multiple playoff games this year. They're just bad teams. And when we swing over to the Dolphins' points of view, the Dolphins have some decisions to make. Tua Tagovailoa is not a good quarterback. There's nothing, and this is just my personal opinion, and I know this is kind of like the overarching theme and statement across the league, but there's no way you can convince me that Tua Tagovailoa is a quarterback capable of building a franchise around. He's just not that guy. He's not great. He's a good quarterback. He's just not good enough, and he's not worth building a franchise around. Mainly because He's just too injury prone. And he's not a good football player at the quarterback position. When you stack him up, even in his own division, Drake May and Josh Allen, you would rather have Drake May and Josh Allen than Tua Tagovailoa, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, all these, Justin Herbert, in your same draft class. All of these guys are better than Tua. So what do the Dolphins do? I looked it up earlier. If they cut him pre-June 1st, they have $99 million in dead cap space. And even if he is a post-June 1st cut, it's going to spread that money around to the next couple of seasons, but that's still just a lot of dead cap space over the next couple of years. What are you going to do with Mike McDaniels? Are you going to keep him? But they're better off keeping Tua Tagovailoa because they have no options at quarterback. When you look out at a draft, as of right now, we haven't heard what Dante Moore is going to do because we're not going to hear what he's going to do until post-college football playoff. But we know for certain, as of right now, Fernando Mendoza is the only good quarterback coming out of this draft. And if you were the Dolphins, you're not even primarily set up to draft him because you're 6-8. You're roughly in the lower teens, the 10, 11, 12-ish draft pick. And we know Fernando Mendoza is going to be a top 5 draft pick. So if you do want Mendoza, you're going to have to give up draft capital to jump into the top 5, even top 3 to draft a quarterback. So you're better off just sticking to Tua Tagovailoa for another year. Then you'll be able to cut him going into his last couple years of his contract because of the guarantees aren't as daunting as they are going into next season. And as far as Mike McDaniel, a lot of people were having these conversations around the league the last couple of weeks about ever since they fired their GM, like they found revitalized life. That was kind of like the overarching conversation going into their matchup yesterday on Monday Night Countdown. They interviewed Devon H. and they're like, yeah, we got this different energy. Mike McDaniel's keeping us together. And then last night, Monday Night Football, primetime TV, in the cold, they sucked. Their defense stayed on the field. And Mike McDaniel didn't really plead his case for the reason why the Dolphins should keep him. But there's been these conversations around the league that people really think around the NFL landscape that if Mike McDaniel is to get another head coaching job, he is going to excel. I don't know where they're getting that from, but I'm just telling you that is what they are saying around the league as of today. But the future of the Dolphins is not bright. They have New England to worry about. They thought, the Patriots were going to be on this little stint without Tom Brady. Oh, they're going to struggle. Well, guess what? Mike Vrabel, Drake May, the Patriots are back. Josh Allen is not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. And you didn't and weren't able to take advantage of the 2022 and 2023 seasons. In 2022, you made the playoffs, you lost to the Bills, and you lost in the playoffs without Tua Tagovailoa because guess what? He was injured. And then in 2023, you got boat raced in the playoffs on the road in Kansas City. Your Super Bowl window is closed. Has been closed for a good while now. And they're just not in a good spot. If I'm a Dolphins fan, you thought you kind of had your window here with only having to worry about Josh Allen, but now you're having to worry about New England for the foreseeable future now again. Just not good days going on in Miami. And as far as the Steelers, they're an okay football team. They're not making no noise in the playoffs. Let's just be 100% totally honest with ourselves.